Elden Ring is finally here, but is it worth the hype? Is it worth the wait? Yes, it is. For the next few minutes, I'll be talking about my early impressions from the 12 or so hours I've had with the game so far. One of the first and biggest things that sets Elden Ring apart from Dark Souls, Bloodborne and Sekiro is the massive amount of exploration you have right from the get-go. Often it can be overwhelming. Should I go here? Should I go there? But whichever direction you choose, it's always worthwhile. And while the lands between seems to be in ruins, it is nevertheless bustling with life, filled with creatures and monsters, non-hostile NPC characters to interact with, mysterious objects to investigate, and even wildlife. I was genuinely surprised every time I found another person to talk to or another mysterious object to investigate. So while the world is vast, it's definitely not empty. It's filled with interesting things to see, fascinating enemies to fight, and well, it's also just beautiful to look at. As for enemy design, I've sometimes been taken aback at what I've come across. It's really been a joy and oftentimes a horror to witness. I've stumbled across a part of the world which honestly freaked me out a bit and had me sprinting on my horse to avoid the difficult and grotesque enemies trying to end me. Customization also makes a return to Elden Ring. Enemies will randomly drop gear for you to use, such as their weapons and armor. You can also redesign the look of your character once you reach a certain part of the game. So Fashion Souls is back on the table, which is great. Then we have the so-called legacy dungeons, where you can't use your faithful steed, but instead have to traverse on foot. I've only happened upon one legacy dungeon so far, and that's the one we got a brief taste of in the closed network test, Stormvale Castle. But this time I could actually explore the entirety of it, and it did not disappoint. What surprised me was the amount of vertical exploration on offer. I found myself scampering on rooftops and through windows in my bid to avoid enemies and find as many secrets as I could. It felt maze-like and very different from the open world, so it's fantastic that the team at From Software have managed to retain that type of dense exploration throughout the game. As for online components and difficulty, you can still summon help similar to the Dark Souls series, and there is a message and bloodstain system too. You can summon both real players and NPC helpers, and you can also use items that summon enemies to fight alongside you. You can summon them both in the open world and in boss fights. I also found that the main path was not as difficult as the optional areas and fights that I came across. But Elden Ring also offers many tutorial pop-ups to help teach you about the mechanics of the game, information that you can go back to and read within your inventory at any time. The pop-ups can also be disabled completely in the settings if you'd like to try and figure out everything on your own, or if you don't need them anymore, such as on a second playthrough. So, those are my early impressions of Elden Ring. I think it's a brilliant game so far, and I can't wait to wrap up this video so that I can head right back into it and keep exploring the beautiful yet dangerous world of the lands between. I'll be uploading more footage including boss fights after release, so if you'd like to see more of Elden Ring, please subscribe, and if you have any questions about the game, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching.